Back on, we're now into my favorite sections. Where do we use this all in education? Numbers are great, all this stuff's great, but where can we use this? As educators, that's kind of the key thing. Right here I got quiz scores, test scores, EOCs. You'll notice this looks a lot like your homework for chapter 2. It is. Same data sets. We're going to talk about where we can use it. Starting out pretty basic, mean, median, and mode. Where can we use that? Well, we could use mean, median, and mode to interpret where each one of our classes are. So we can take test scores, we can click up here on the data analysis toolpath, we can run our descriptive statistics, and we want to find out all our descriptive statistics on my quiz scores. I want my output to be over here somewhere. Summary statistics, I had a label in my first row, so I'm going to click OK. So it gives me all my scores. Well, what do these mean and what do they mean to education? Well, let's start here. Our mean is 5.6. That means I have an average score of 5.6 out of 10 on my quiz scores. My median is 5.5. Look how closely related my mean and my median are. That means it's a pretty evenly distributed group of data here. And my mode is 5. Same thing. It's right there with the mean, median. Notice my standard deviation. That's how spread out things are. Once we get into normal curves, you'll understand what one standard deviation away from the mean means. But we're saying that 66% of our data is plus or minus 1.5 points from our mean. So if we take 5.6 and add 1.5, I'm going to get 7.1. If I take 5.6 and I subtract 1.5, I'm going to get 4.1. Okay? That means that 66% of my data is between these 2 points, 7.1. That is where my class is distributed in. That's where most of the chunk of my class is. We'll learn how what is 2 standard deviations away from the mean, or the mean. We'll learn what 3 is later on and how these relate to the normal curve. But that's kind of what this tells you is I know 66% of my class is within a 7.1 and a 4.1. So you got a C, a 71%, and a 41% on the quiz. So what it does is it helps you to say, I probably need to reteach here. Most of my kids aren't getting this. Or, hey, my kids are doing awesome. They don't need to do anything different. Other things you want to look at is your range. You've got a range of 5. It says our max score was an 8 and our min score was a 3. So if these are out of 10, our top score is only an 80%, but our low score was only a 30%. So we don't have an extremely wide range. As you can tell right here, that range is 3, so we only have a few kids outside this range. Other things, gives you a sum of all the numbers added together and your total count. We had 10 kids, it tells you that. This is good to always check just in case you miss something. But this is kind of where you use chapter 2 in the educational classroom. It's also where you use chapter 3, is how spread out are these things. Standard deviation, your range, your max, your min. Education, we always run test scores, we're always running scores. You can take this, you can compare your quiz scores, you can compare your test scores, you can compare your ISAT scores, you can figure out where most of your kids lie and how far from the mean these people are by your standard deviation, so that when you are looking at this, you know you have to raise this kid 2 or 3 percentile points. How can you do that? How do you even know that they really are outside that normal group? Those are all things we're going to talk about later on, but this is kind of just a bare where we start education-wise, something you can do a lot of action research on right here. If you have any questions about this, anything you want to add further, go ahead and let me know, and we'll add that on to the next section. Other than that, that's all I got for you on where this is used in education. Thank you again, and we will see you next time.